There's a writers and actors strike going on, but what role do journalists and critics and YouTubers have to play in supporting the strike? Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and yep, you might have noticed something a little different here. I hinted at it at the video a couple days ago, and here's the thing. Yep, this is going to be one of my small solidarities with the SAG-AFTRA and WGA. I have shaved, and until the strike is resolved, I will not shave again, or I will not shave again until my significant other or coworker say enough is enough. Small gesture, but whatever. See how long this goes. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that you all know that there's a strike going on. The historic strike hasn't happened in a very, very long time, where the writers and the actors are all striking. And there has been some controversy going on with YouTubers, critics, bloggers, journalists about what they can and can't write about, how they should or should not support the strike, and whether or not they should even write about movies, because they consider, well, hey, are my reviews promotion? Should I even be buying tickets to movies? Like, what is all this? So here's the thing. This is my personal opinion. I've been in the critic game for a long time. I have gone through strikes before. And let's get a few things out of the way. First of all, you as a journalist or a critic or a YouTuber are not publicity. That's kind of one of the big questions that's going on. Like, well, my reviews can be considered publicity for the studio, so maybe I shouldn't review things, or I shouldn't be writing articles. First of all, you're not publicity. I mean, if A.O. Scott's review of Joker, where he called the movie just plain stupid, is publicity, then that's the wrong kind of publicity you want. If your negative review of Sound of Freedom is considered publicity, again, it's not very good publicity. If your dislike of The Little Mermaid, okay, you get the point. Bottom line, if you're writing a negative review, that's not publicity. And if you're writing a positive review, I guess that's good publicity, but it's because the product is genuinely good. So this whole idea that critics and journalists are publicity, it's not true. Journalists, and especially film critics, this is what some people don't understand about film criticism. Film criticism isn't promotion, it's journalism. It's reporting. It is reporting an event just the same way other journalists will review a concert show, or will talk about a strike, or will go and cover a political debate. Movie reviews are reporting in some ways. The critic goes to the movie, he or she watches the movie, and then they assess the value of that movie and offer up advice on whether or not you yourself might want to pay money to see that movie. That is what it is. And that is why not all reviews are positive and why not all reviews are negative. So right from the get-go, I disagree with this notion that if you are reviewing movies, you are acting as publicity for the studios. That is not how this works. But here's the thing. What if you're running like a podcast or something, and you have a co-host who's a SAG-AFTRA member, or you're interviewing someone who's a member of one of the guilds and they are striking? Well, here's the thing. If the episode is already pre-recorded, contact that person and have that person clear with the unions whether or not that episode can go on and whether or not that would be breaking any rules. If the union says, no, it's not breaking any rules, go ahead and put it up. If they're saying that's a problem, then you know what? Hold on to that episode, move on for the time being, and write about something else. Now, if you do feel strong enough that reviewing the movies is supporting the studios, take time to write about the strike. There's a lot of people on the picket lines. Go on the picket lines. Get their stories. Have them on your channel. Have them share their experiences with you. I am personally going to be going to picket lines. I will be handing out my card for YouTube. I'm going to try to get as many of these striking members on my channel to talk about what it's like for them, and why they are striking. Get as many stories as I can out there. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing during the strike. I'll also be, talking about how executives are commenting on this or anything. There's a really interesting one that we're going to be doing a podcast of. If we have not done it already, it's going to be very soon. Now, that out of the way, what if you want to support the writers and the actors? Should you personally not buy tickets to movies? How do you support? Do you just stop watching entertainment? Well, here's the thing. This is my personal opinion, of course, but kind of reading the room that this is about residuals on streaming and AI and stuff. Here's where I feel pretty comfortably falling on the fence. I do not believe you are hurting the strikers or the WGA or SAG-AFTRA by buying movie tickets to movies. Because here's the thing, when movie tickets are bought, there are residuals shared. That's not the issue. The issue is streaming. So look, you want to watch stuff on broadcast TV, go ahead and watch it. You want to buy a DVD, a Blu-ray, a 4K, go ahead and buy it. You want to buy a movie ticket, enjoy yourself. All of these products pay residuals. So if anything, not buying movie tickets and things like that might even be hurting them to a certain extent, because there are background actors and people with smaller parts that will be getting residuals from these movies and productions. And you want to help them. You don't want to hurt them. Now, if you do want to hurt the studios, here's what you do. It's pretty simple. You cancel the streaming services. You cancel Netflix. You cancel Peacock. You cancel Disney Plus. There's no more Max. In fact, really, the only one that you can probably keep is Crunchyroll, because that's not union anyway. Watch some anime for a while, I suppose. They probably should be unionized too at this point, but that's a different topic altogether. But here's the thing. Since the issue is of streaming and how streaming has changed the economics and that streaming doesn't pay as well, and that basically all these executives want to move things over to streaming so that they can cut out the residuals potentially, that's where Wall Street is concerned with streaming. So, you want to support the writers, you want to support the strikers, cancel your streaming services if you feel inclined to do so. If you don't want to do that, there's no judgment here. I'm not going to cancel my streaming services for the record. I just don't feel like I want to do that. But if you really feel like you want to hurt the studios and support the actors and the actresses and the writers, then cancel the streaming services. This is going to be the best way to make your voice heard, that you stand with SAG-AFTRA, you stand with WGA, and that you don't support the direction the studios are going in. I guess you could also write letters to the CEOs of these companies, let them know how disappointed they are. I'm sure Bob Iger would love to find out how his comments are coming off. Their demands are unrealistic. I'm sure he'd love to get letters from everyday people who have opinions about his salary and the comments he made being on that salary. And that's basically all you can do. It kind of comes down to personal preference. The one thing I would not do, I would not get into fights with other people, criticizing them on how they are or are not handling the strike, where it's like, oh, well, you're doing this, so you don't really support, or you're doing this, so you must support. No. Everyone has to come at this however they want and do whatever they're comfortable with. That said, I do think some people are overreacting in some regards. I mean, again, if you are not personally a member of SAG or WGA, this really doesn't affect you personally. If you make a living writing, then write. Make your videos. You don't want to review the movies, talk about something else. I mean, do what you feel is comfortable, but don't criticize other people because they're not falling in line with what you're doing. I don't think SAG-AFTRA or WGA wants us to stop watching movies altogether. They want to get paid fairly. I'm sure they appreciate the gesture, but I think at the end of the day, they know that they're the ones who've got to fight their own battles. And yeah, it stinks that it's come to this, but so be it. So that's my opinions on it. And that means that no, you're not a bad person if you decide to see Barbenheimer this weekend. You're not a bad person for that. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm going to be seeing Oppenheimer in Hollywood. I bet you I'm going to be passing picketers all the way over. So that's my 2 cents on that. What do you think about this? Do you agree, disagree? How are you handling this strike? And are you changing the way you make your content as a result of the strike? Or what's your thought process? We would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.